This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.
Yeah, thanks very much, Hazy, and welcome punters to the preview for the VHRSC Victoria Derby final meeting at Tabcorp Park, Melton tomorrow night. We've had some terrific racing in recent weeks. The Hunter Cup last week, of course, and prior to that, the Ballarat Cup. It's the Derby this time around. Normally raced on Hunter Cup night. They've separated it, given a standalone night tomorrow night at Victoria's Metropolitan Home. But there's 10 other races, well, 10 races in total to go through. So we'll kick off with race 1 on the program, and it's a race for the square gators. It's the tab.com.au Trotters Handicap, and it is a tricky affair. It's a standing start affair over the 2,240 metres, and I've gone with a horse called Alpaco. So 5 or 6 key winning hopes here, but I've been a big fan of Alpaco. I've followed him through most of his career, and he's been terrific this preparation. Won his first couple of starts this time in super impressively, then was luckless when fourth at this course, Melton, 2 Friday nights ago, so he ran fourth on that occasion. It was a very good form race too. We had Josephine Jones in there, and also Savannah Way got the job done. Last start set up a track record time at Hamilton in the Hamilton Trotters Cup. Didn't win the race, just got nosed out by Zedlite, who's gone on to win at Group 3 level. I think he can be too good here, thrown in off the 10 metre handicap. Number 7, Alpaco. Key dangers, all the class runners off the bigger handicaps. Number 11, Cheese and Image, was a very good 2- and 3-year-old. Has been transferred to Chris Lang for its past couple of preparations. A multiple Group 1 winner. If it steps well, it should be in the finish as well. And the 2 Dean Braun stablemates, number 10, Waikari Aristocrat, and 12, Duke of the Moment. They've taken different routes to this race. Waikari Aristocrat finishing close up in the Group 3 race, the Glenferrie Farm Trotters Cup last Saturday night at Melton, and Duke of the Moment coming through the Australasian Trotting Championship Series. But both horses very talented on their day, and once again, if they can step safely from their 20 metre handicaps, they'll go very close to winning this first race. But a tricky race to kick off the card at Tabcorp Park, Melton tomorrow night. All right, the second race in the program is the Empire Stallions Vic Bred Pace, an MO affair. The MO's always tricky affairs, also at Tabcorp Park, Melton, usually strong, even fields, and this no exception. I've gone with number 9, The Good Times, first up for the Emma Stewart camp. We know that team is flying. They're perpetually flying. They're never not flying, the Emma Stewart camp. This horse has trialled well in preparation for this race, and was a very smart campaigner as a 3- and 4-year-old. Critical to her chances, though, is Gangster Boy, who's drawn the pole holding the top. It's a relatively fast front line. Gangster Boy gets out well. So does We All Want to Know. Quaden Tate, a very quick beginner. So we need Gangster Boy to kick through and hold the top. But if he does, the Good Times gets that gun run in behind, I think she has the turn of foot to out-sprint him in the lane. Gangster Boy, we've just mentioned, he's been terrific of recent times. His last 2 starts through the Country Clubs Championship Series, when running 2nd and 3rd behind Steam Washed, both black booking runs. So it does get his chance to win a race too, particularly, as we mentioned, if he can hold the top at the start. Number 4, We All Want to Know. One of 3 or 4 others who have to be thrown into your trifectas and first fours. We All Want to Know has won its past 2 starts in South Australia, and last start got along the sprint line nicely to win. Usually an enforcer type. Difficult to know where he'll get in the run, but will be dangerous wherever he lobs. And Scruffy Major had no luck in the Country Clubs Championship final last weekend. An electric sit sprinter on his day. Doesn't get a great draw here, but if they put the speed on early, he'll be rushing home late. Number 11, Scruffy Major, 9, 1, 4 and 11 for me. Kicking on to the third race in the program now, it's the Aldebaran Park Monty Championship. Of course, we've had a renaissance of sorts of the Monties. They were never a big ticket item in the Australian trotting scene. Very, very big in Scandinavia, and now the ridden trots, these Monties, they're ridden trots where they're not jockeys, but they are riders, are riding on top of the square gators, and we've had several of them recently. And the king of the Australasian Monty is Motu Young Jacob, and he goes around again tomorrow night at Tabcorp Park, Melton. Look, he's just been terrific for the caper, really. We've had a few horses come through and represent the Monties very well. Optimum was one of the first. Andy's favourite came on and did a good job, but Motu Young Jacob's taken it to the next level. Likes to start very quickly, rolls along, sets up a hectic tempo, and has won his past 3 races at the caper doing just that, running along and getting away from his rivals. I think he'll be too good. They're always very tricky, of course, because we haven't seen a lot of them. But if he does what he's done in recent starts, I think he will be too good. I've marked him around $1.50. He'll be in red figures. Main danger, without any doubt, is Lysenko, and I say that because Victorian Monty Princess, Hayley Toolman, who's the partner of Chris Lang Jr. There's 3 Chris Lang Jr. runners in this race, she would obviously have the pick of them and has proven a real expert, a great representative for Victoria at the Monte Caper. She's chosen Lysenko, so you have to give it great respect. Stablemate of Lysenko, Brylan Crescent, has just been switched over from the David Aiken camp. She's very talented with a cart behind her, so if she can translate that to the Monty, she'll also be difficult to beat, Brylan Crescent, and her first Monty run. And Kai Valley Rap probably had 5 or 6 goes at the Caper so far. The Monties, I don't think he's broken through as of yet, but he's run some handy races, and if you're playing wider trifectas and first fours, throw him in too. 5, 3, 4 and 2, but Moti Young Jacob, very, very tough to beat. Race 4, which incidentally is not the first race of the quaddie, not the first leg of the quaddie tomorrow night at Tabcorp Park Melton. That starts off in race 5, but it is a terrific race, and there's big ramifications for Inter-Dominion Day at Menangle on March 2 here, because whoever wins this race gets a free ticket to the Chariots of Fire. There's the fixed odds for the race, and they've virtually been unmoved since they were opened a few days ago. Guaranteed $1.35. A prohibitive favourite here. He's a very smart customer, unbeaten this preparation. Chili Palmer, the McInerney Classic winner at Group 1 level, $3.80, your second favourite. And then you go out to Keyang Stars at $7, and Brilliant Beginner, Ginger Bliss at $9, Willow Robin and Shakti Bromac, the only other 2 runners in the race. As I mentioned, a big prize at the end of this, a ticket to the Chariots of Fire, and punters and the bookies obviously believe guaranteed almost over the line. As I mentioned, a winner of 4 of 4 starts already this preparation. Was unbelievable on Shepparton Cup night, sitting parked outside 2IC, who's really franked the form since. Got the better of 2IC in the last 100 metres on that occasion, and then went on to win again on Ballarat Cup night in a slightly easier race. He's an absolute superstar. He may be the best 4-year-old in the land, and I think he will win this race. Only little question mark for him is he's not a Brilliant Beginner. He won't find the front straight after the start, but he's won 17 of 24. He is a winner, and he should get the job done here. There's absolutely no doubt that his major danger is Chili Palmer. Dean Braun, who knows what a good horse looks like, he's got plenty of them, says Chili Palmer is the quickest point-to-point speed horse he's ever trained. So that's including horses like Chancellor Cullen, Magical Talf, Pacific Playgirl even, who is brilliant point-to-point speed mare. So Chili Palmer, a big threat, particularly in the small field. That'll suit her. Ginger Bliss, your third pick, because he's the likely leader and he's got a fair bit of talent in his day, particularly from the head of affairs. And Keyang Stars, always been just a half grade below the top horses of his 2- and 3-year-old seasons, and maybe just a half grade below these real big guns. But another one you must include in what will be pretty skinny trifectas and first fours in the 4-year-old Bonanza. Race 5, as we mentioned, is the first leg of the quaddie at Tabcorp Park Melton tomorrow night. It's the Tabcorp Park Melton Pace, and it's another tricky affair. We've got some real class runners here, but they're drawn awkwardly, particularly as there's very little speed off the front line. Metro Mike is my top tip in the race. Been outstanding at his past couple of starts. Was very good in the Hamilton Cup behind National Service and Keyang Cullen, and then even better last time out in the Pure Steel. Made a couple of mistakes and was unlucky not to win the Pure Steel, where Marseille got the job done on Ballarat Cup night. Again, the draw's not fantastic for him, even from gate 3, because he's not an overly quick beginner, but if he works for it at the start, he is the class runner for mine and deserves to rate on top. Key dangers, the 2 Dean Braun runners again, we keep mentioning this man. Number 6, Magical Talf, who was slightly disappointing last week, but the race wasn't run to suit. He's a very smart customer, a City of Melton plate winner earlier this term, so must be given huge respect. Inky Cullen comes back with a terrific race record. He's another horse who's just a dead set winner. He keeps rising in grade. He's up to M1 level now, but first up from a spell has to be given respect as well, particularly from that barn. And if you're having one bet on a roughie or not, a double figure chance, number 2 Arbor, trialled very well at Ballarat recently, finished off in 55.7. I think he can lead tomorrow night, and if he does lead over the 17.20 at $12 or $14 or maybe even longer, he's the best roughie on the program for mine. But 3, 6, 4 and 2, my numbers in the Tabcorp Park Melton Pace, the first leg of the quaddie at Tabcorp Park Melton. On to race 6 now, one of the genuine highlights, the co-feature, I suppose, for the night at Tabcorp Park tomorrow night. It's the Harness Breeders' Vic Ladyship Cup at Group 3 level. Another race with big ramifications for Inter-Dominion Day at Menangle, given the winner of this race will get a free ticket. It's an automatic qualifier into the Ladyship Mile, Australia's #1 mares race. Fixed odds for the race are up, and there's been a bit of movement. Beauty Secret and Gliding Rose now share favouritism. Gliding Rose was your early favourite for the race. The New South Wales visitor for Shane Tritton. Broadway's best. What a champion mare she's been in the twilight of her career. $4.20. Steam Wash looks the biggest overs for mine. $7. Been terrific of late. Blaze Away McRae's the one they've backed. $14 into $7.50. A really good go for Blaze Away McRae. And Shake It Mum is the other one inside double figures there at the $9.50. So a wide open affair, the Ladyship Cup. I'm going with Broadway's Best. I think she's the one to beat. We'll see a replay of her very soon. The last time, in fact, the second last time she met Mare's Company. And here she is now. She's 3 wide with the cart. That's Better Give It 3 wide. No cover. Victor's Delight's leading at this time. Better Give It looks to have the race in her keeping at this stage. Sprints up to the lead. Broadway's Best, though. This is her withering sprint. It's her trademark weapon. She comes with one withering late run, and you can see right on the line, picks up Better Give It. Now, Better Give It's at least as good as any mare she'll have to take on tomorrow night. I think there'll be plenty of speed on early. Blaze Away McRae and Gliding Rose will both blister out. There'll be fireworks, and if there are, Broadway's Best, I think she can finish home all over the top. We've mentioned Steam Washed earlier in the program here, has been terrific of recent times, sweeping the Country Club's Championship Series. Always had a big boom in her and is now really franking that boom with some terrific form. She's off that second line too, so that early burn will help her as well. Beauty Secret, an ultra-professional mare for Emma Stewart. The draw's a little awkward for her, but she's never far away in these types of races. And the one they've backed, Blaze Away McRae. There's going to be some fireworks at the start, as I mentioned, but if Blaze Away McRae can hold out Gliding Rose, she can also be in the finish. 11, 9, 4 and 1, but pretty keen on Broadway's Best at the nice quote of $4.20 with TAB fixed odds. All right, the 7th race in the program is the Golden Rain Free-For-All, a terrific race here. A couple of horses dropping in grade and an incredibly fast front line. One of the fastest front lines you'd ever see. Easy on the Eye, number 1. Our Blackbird 2, Brave Wiggy 3, the Phantom 5, American Muscle 6. They all blister off the arm. There's going to be some decisions made from drivers early on whether to try and grab the lead or to restrain early. And the 2 key runners for mine for sure are number 1, Easy on the Eye, who's a very, very fast beginner over here for the Hunter Cup. Unfortunately, was probably slightly outclassed. Didn't get a lot of luck, but was slightly outclassed in the Hunter Cup last week. But prior to that, had defeated Pembroke Benny and had also split Pembroke Benny and Caribbean Blast from the New Zealand Free-For-All at Group 1 level. So he's got a huge amount of class, and if he's able to hold his rivals wide into the first turn, I definitely think he's the horse to beat. Easy on the Eye for Stephen Reid. His key danger, number 3, Brave Wiggy. Brave Wiggy, Sydney fans would be very well aware of his talents at flying off the arm, running along and running blistering miles at Tabcorp Park, Menangle. Well, last Saturday night at Tabcorp Park, Melton, he was drawn the second line, had to come from off the speed and was equally impressive. So he's got more strings to his bow now than perhaps most punters realised. He'll be testing Easy on the Eye for the lead, no doubt about it at the start. I don't know if he can get there. If he can, he's the one to beat probably. If not, he's still some sort of chance in the race though. Number 8, Charlie McSheen, may put some values into your trifectas and first fours here. A very, very talented 3 and 4-year-old, a very talented 2-year-old as well. Probably hasn't been at his best in recent times, but showed something like his true potential running 4th in the Pure Steel behind Marciche, I'm Causing Terror and Co. So this is a slight drop in grade from that race, and there's a good chance he can kick up and hold the back of Easy on the Eye. And if that horse leads, Charlie McSheen, a big hope for your multiples. Then you go out to Our Blackbird, who's one of 5 or 6 who need to be thrown in for first fours. He's first up from a spell, unlikely to win, but definitely some sort of little place hope. All right, now we come to the Big Daddy, the feature on the program at Tabcorp Park, Melton tomorrow night. It's the 100th running of the VHRSC Victoria Derby Final, or the 100th anniversary of the race. First run way back in 1914, and it is a cracking edition, one of the best editions in modern memory. And once again, it's a battle of those horses who fought it out in the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings Breeders' Crown Final. And they are the 2 McCarthy runners and the 2 Barry Purdon runners. We've got a McCarthy runner on top. Bling it on. There's your fixed odds. $2.30. Been a slight drifter out from $2.10, but still the popular elect. Our Maxim, who was brilliant last weekend, $2.80. Sky Major's been well backed, in from $6.50 to $5. Gets the gun run in behind the leader most likely. And Let Us Rock Them, who finished second in that Breeders' Crown Final and was a sensational 2-year-old, $5.50. You can get as much as $16 or more. About the rest. Look, the start's going to be crucial here, as it is in most races at Tabcorp Park, Melton. Our Maxim does look to have the speed to hold the early lead from the pole marking draw, and I think with the stablemate Our Sky Major drawn right in behind, he's going to be obliged to hold the top. So, usually better known as a sit sprinter, loves to hand up and out sprint his rivals. Here, he'll probably have to lamplight them. Let Us Rock Them will probably play enforcer. He likes to lead in his races, but if he can't lead, he'll probably sit parked here and really be asking the question of our Maxim. Our Sky Major, we've already mentioned, should be in behind the leader. And Bling It On may go forward or back at the start. I think if he goes forward, that will be his best chance of winning. We're going back to the Chokin final now. We're not going to go back to the Victoria Derby heat. But here's Bling It On. In fact, we are going to the Victoria Derby heat for Bling It On. Led last Saturday night. Worked to the front, didn't blister there, but got in front of Yaya's Hotspot, who's in behind. And look, fairly much unmoved here, Luke McCarthy, ripping home in 54 seconds. Huge run from the second horse, better known as a leader up at Tabcorp Park, Menangle in Sydney. Runs a terrific race, also breaking the clock for the last 800 metres. But Bling It On did that with the plugs in and ran 54 seconds. He is frighteningly quick, one of the quickest horses we've seen in many years, and I've got him on top for that very reason. Wherever he settles, I think he can tear them up in the last 600 metres. Number 7, Bling It On top. Number 8, Our Sky Major, was very good last weekend. Ran the fastest last mile of any Vic Derby heat runner, and will get the gun run this week, importantly. Number 1, Our Maxim, will have to probably race against Patton this week, but was also untouched to win last week and must be another big chance. I rate those 3 ahead of Let Us Rock Them. So 7, 8 and 1 on the top line. Let Us Rock Them just below them, just because he won't be able to find his favourite role in front, I don't think. And if he doesn't, he's a small winning hope, but a little bit behind the big 3 guns, the Power Trio. All right, on to the penultimate race in the program, the APG Sydney Sales 1 March claiming pace. So from a Group 1 event to a claimer, but we know the claimers aren't what they used to be in Victoria. We have some seriously good horses going around in the claimers these days. And one of those very good horses is Smudge Bromac, down sharply in class for this affair. And as we've mentioned a couple of times in recent weeks, being drawn outside the front line, not really an imposition in these claiming races or these preferential draw races if you've got the class to overcome it. Smudge Bromac does have the class to overcome it, and he's my best bet on the program, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I think he'll be far too good, Smudgy. Number 6, Wash Me Pockets, another veteran of the claiming grade. Pocket Rocket probably hasn't quite shown his best form since being transferred from Jeff Webster to Viv Tomrin, but he hasn't been running badly in his figure form line, probably not representative of how he's going. I think he's definitely a threat. He'll roll forward at the start as well. That's Mr. Ali's, also a professional claimer. Still into the twilight of his career, he has that brilliant last 300 or 400 metres, sizzling turn of foots off, the speed's on throughout. He can be dangerous, and Saab quality, brutal grinding type, holds 2 track records and is on sale for $15,000 tomorrow, which doesn't sound too bad. He's probably not up with the top couple of winning hopes, but a certain inclusion in your trifectas and first fours and all your wider multiple plays, but definitely behind Smudge Bromac, my best bet on the program tomorrow night at Tabcorp Park, Melton. And to finish off, it's probably the 3rd biggest race in the program. We've, of course, got the Vic Derby final and the Ladyship Cup, but the Premier Stakes, a time-honoured race for the 2-year-old pacers. Look, to be fair, it's probably not a vintage edition. It's very hard to work out exactly where these juvenile horses, these freshmen, stand at this point in time. Not sure that there's any superstars among them. I think if there is a superstar among this crew, it might be number 1, Melisandre, half-sister to the very, very, very good Kiwi pacer. Got to go Cullen, and was outstanding second up in its career. So its first run, it ran second at Shepparton on Shepparton Cup night. 3rd, I should say. Went even better last start though with Dean Braun. Fired off the arm at the start, found the front, handed up in transit to Bad Boy Cullen, and just proved far, far too quick for that horse in the last 300 metres. Has a huge amount of upside and should have all the favours go its way from the pole marking draw. So a clear on-top selection, number 1, Melisandre. Number 3, Bad Boy Cullen, my second selection in the race. Was favourite over Melisandre last start and didn't turn things up late when Melisandre collared it. Kicked on nicely to run second. I think if it's handed the lead again on this occasion, it'll be dangerous again. And then you're out to a couple of semi-professionals, ones that have gone around 3 or 4 times. Viva Safari's been very good in its 4 starts. And Weeman Sporty, also good, won its first 2 starts and 3rd on Shepparton Cup night last time. I don't think they're huge dangers to my top tip, Melisandre, but they have to be respected. They've been at the track a few times. 1, 3, 6 and 5 in the Swift Signs Premier Stakes, the last race in the program at Tabcorp Park, Melton tomorrow night. Now we better get on to the best bets and best values and quaddies for the punters out there who are having a crack at this very, very big meeting tomorrow night at Melton. My best bet is Smudge Bromac. Spoke about that earlier. Dropping sharply back into claiming grade, always performs well at that level and should be too good for his rivals. My best roughie, race 1, number 7, Alpaco. Probably better value there, probably $4 or $5. I'd say Arb is your best dead set roughie, but my best value, race 1, number 7, Alpaco. And then in the quaddie, we're going to play 2, 3, 4 and 6 in the first leg. They are Arbor, Metro, Mike, Inky Cullen and Magical Telf into 1, 4, 9 and 11 for the Ladies Ship Cup. Blaze Away McRae, Beauty Secret, Steam Washed and Broadway's Best. 1, 3 and 8 in the Golden Rain Free For All. Easy on the Eye, Brave Wiggy and Charlie McSheen. And then the 4 big guns in the Victoria Derby final. They are Our Maxim, Let Us Rock Them, My Top Tip, Bling It On and Our Sky Major. $120, it's a fair outlay, but you'll get 50% of the dividend if you do outlay that $120, and I can almost guarantee it will pay something in that big meeting at Melton tomorrow night. So I look forward to getting out there. I'll be at the track, getting some interviews and giving you all the late mail tomorrow night for the last of the big meetings at Melton. Actually, one more to go, the Inter-Dominion Heat Night, and then we head back to Menangle in early March for the huge Inter-Dominion final program. But hopefully we've found a winner for you, and see you tomorrow night.
This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.